Hey guys, what's up? It's MatchPoint here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 tips and tricks for roaming in Rainbow Six Siege. So, if you do find this video useful, consider dropping a like on the video. You guys have requested it over on my Discord, so I thought I'd bring it to you. And if you would like to join my Discord, then there will be a link down below so you can participate next time. And if there are any topics that you would like me to cover next, or even if you do have a specific topic that you are struggling with and would like me to cover it, well, make sure you comment it down below so I know to do them. If you are new around here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the video. And if this does help you out, make sure to subscribe. So let's get on into it. But first, I would just like to let you know that I do stream over on Twitch on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. Over there I do a lot of VOD reviews which are really useful for taking that improvement to the next level. There will be a link down below if you would like to check it out. The first tip that I'm going to be giving you for roaming in Siege is going to be time over kills. As a roamer, your job isn't necessarily to go ahead and pick up all those kills and be the top fragger for the team. Instead, your goal is to delay their time and cause them to panic. Next time you are going to be roaming in Siege, I would like you to think to yourself, delay, keep running that over. Delaying the enemy's time is arguably more beneficial when you go ahead and actually do it and carry out this process instead of picking up those kills, taking that risk and possibly even dying, letting them have that control. Now, if you're not sure how beneficial to this, I'll just put it into perspective for you. If you go ahead and delay the enemy's time for around a minute or even 2, then you're going to stop them from getting their plan down and getting what they need to done. A basic example would be they're not able to open the hatches to get into sight and make that push that they need to, and you've delayed that 1 or 2 minutes of time, and it's going to cause them to rush around. They're not going to be thinking it through straight as they haven't got much time on the clock and they need to get into that site and plan. And all because you've delayed their time, they're going to be panicking now and not being able to get what they need done. And when the panic sets in, it causes them to make those rash decisions and ultimately play into your hands. Your goal as a roamer in Rainbow Six Siege is to delay and just be as annoying as you possibly can. I'm sure you all have had it before, where you're trying to attack and push into the site, but there's this pesky roamer that you can't seem to deal with, and it's ultimately delaying your time. That's what you've got to do. Try to annoy them, delay them, and ultimately waste their time. I will very briefly give you a few tips and tricks for delaying their time, and the main one is simply going to be your presence. If the attackers know that you are somewhere and you have been droned out, but you've been smart enough, and I would recommend to do this when you get droned out, is to rotate to a different position. Then they're not going to want to push in through that way, as they know you're lurking around somewhere, but they're not quite sure. This gives them a lot of uncertainty and delays them even further. The next tip that I'm going to be giving you for roaming is going to be not getting too aggressive. As a roamer, like I did cover there, you do want to be delaying, which is going to mean that you're not going to be wanting to be aggressive. Instead, you should be playing more passive. You do have to kind of get the right balance here, as you don't want to be too passive, but at the same time you don't want to be making those crazy pushes. You shouldn't be searching for those kills, but if one does come to you and the situation is right, you need to be ready to pounce upon it. And a big part of being not that aggressive is going to be making those smart rotations. If you're going to be getting droned out, then you definitely want to rotate away. There could be multiple of them, and if you're a sole roamer, then you're going to be in a sticky situation. Instead, make that smart rotation, and then your presence is really going to affect them and delay them, as they know they're not going to be able to take you out because you've rotated away, and they still know that you are somewhere, which is going to mean later on in the round you could surprise them from behind. You don't want to be overconfident and over-aggressive, as you're going to be not able to take on a whole team. Instead, you should be making that smart rotation, as you're going to be delaying their time. And if you do end up getting killed off at the start as a roamer, then the attackers are going to have a huge advantage over your team. They're going to be able to gain that map control, and you're not going to be delaying their time. The next tip that I'm going to be giving you for roaming is going to be dominating that map control. Your job as a roamer is also to deny the attackers any map control. I did cover a guide on map control, and if you do require that information, then there will be a card in the top right. As map control does give you a huge advantage, especially when the attackers get it. They're confident that they've done their roam clear, they're not going to have to deal with any roamers, and they can focus on making their push and taking out the anchors. As a roamer, you should be trying to control the map and not let the attackers get access to it. Like I did mention before regarding delaying their time, if you do get picked off at the start as a roamer, then the attacker is going to have full access to the map and ultimately control it. Which is why those smart rotations are absolutely key. If you do find yourself getting pushed by the attackers, let them have a tiny bit of that map control, and ultimately you're not going to be able to take out all of them. Therefore, you don't want to be over peeking, you need to make that smart decision to move away, and then you can always hit them from behind or a different position or angle next time. And as well, as a roamer, you need to be contesting those high key areas of interest. The highly contested areas in the map are really what turn the game around. As a roamer, if you are able to flank the enemy on that contested area and take some of them out, or even just scare them off from it, that is going to be a huge win, as you're able to control it and stop them from making their push. This is going to be all down to that map control, and an example of a high contested area would be on Villa, which is going to be the 90 corridor. The next tip that I'm going to be giving you for roaming is going to be good communication. Good communication as a roamer is absolutely crucial. You can really get lost here if you're not able to have that communication from your teammates, and especially if the attackers do have their good communication on point, then they're going to be able to communicate effectively and stop you from making any moves. The roamer needs the intel from your team in order to execute successful flanks. A roamer's job has got to be supplied with that intel and information. Whether you are a roamer or not, you still need to be giving those callouts for your team. Whether you're watching this but you don't always play that roamer role all the time, you need to be giving that roamer who does play on your team the communication. If you want them to thrive on your team and help you out by executing those flanks, give them the callouts that they need with the information they need. It's very easy to get lost as a roamer, not in the sense that you're not going to be able to know your way around the map, but instead losing track of the attacker's positions, which is why those callouts and communication from your team have got to be there. If you are watching this now and you have some teammates who don't have that good communication, I would recommend sharing this video with them and showing them this so that they can benefit from it. A good call out should be precise and give the information that they need. Nobody on your team wants to hear a long-winded call out and you're giving them extra information when realistically they only need the core details and the core bits. And especially when you're giving them that long-winded call out, it can actually distort any information or audio that they need. An example of a short and quick call out would be if we're playing on the map bank, you could say, "There's an Ash pushing from CCTV." In this short call-out situation, you've given them the information that they need. You've told them what operator is pushing, therefore they can be wary of the abilities, etc. And also they know the room, they know the details. If you do feel like you or your team is struggling with communication, then I have covered a full guide on it, and there will be a card in the top right if you do require that information. The next tip that I'm going to be giving you for roaming is going to be map knowledge. Map knowledge is vital for roaming, and it plays a huge part in it whether you can be a successful roamer or not. To be an effective roamer, you need to have a basic understanding of the map knowledge. The map knowledge does apply to roamers, as it helps them to know common entry points or common push points that they can flank from or simply watch over. This allows a roamer to be more precise on their delaying time and also on where they're going to be dominating that map control, and simply it does help a lot. And as well, when your teammates are giving those useful, short and precise callouts, you've got to know what they're talking about. You need to know the location on what they're on about, and as well how you can get there the quickest way. It also does help a lot with your rotations. You're going to be knowing where you're coming from and where you're going to. It allows for you to attack the enemy from a different vantage point. And as well, the map knowledge really links everything together. It helps with knowing where certain points are, such as the stairwells, which allow for you to rotate successfully into a different area. And remember, if you are going to be roaming, you need a basic understanding of map knowledge. And if you are really confused on your map knowledge, or simply need to learn it better, then I have created an ultimate guide for it. It covers various methods in which you can learn it, and outlines which methods do work and which methods don't. There will be a card in the top right of your screen if you do require that information. I would recommend it as it is really useful. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. If you did or you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. And if you do need any more tips, then there will be a card at the end for you to check out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.